the boss of UFC appeared unsure over the future of Conor McGregor in the sport after he was charged with assault and criminal mischief in New York. The Irishman has been released on bail over the attack on a bus which left two fellow fighters unable to compete due to injuries. McGregor will be allowed to fly home after the authorities decided not to seize his passport. He will return to New York on June 14 for his next court hearing, along with teammate Cian Cowley, who was also charged. McGregor's bail of $50,000 was reportedly paid for by another of his teammates, Dillon Danis. The biggest star in mixed martial arts appeared before the judge in the same clothes he wore 24 hours earlier, a blue, long-sleeved golf shirt that hid his elaborate tattoos. The incident has thrown a sport into crisis, with some calling for McGregor to be banned. Speaking at a press conference, President of the UFC Dana White was asked whether McGregor will be allowed back in the ring. He said, "The one thing, this thing is so crazy, you know he's being arraigned right now and dealing with what he has to deal with. We're dealing with this fight. Next week we're gonna go home and figure out how this whole thing plays out. You know, it's a very unique situation that we're in. It's never happened in almost 20 years of doing this, so we'll see." Earlier, he was seen being led from a police station in handcuffs at around 10:30 a.m. New York time on Friday. McGregor was involved in a melee following a press event for UFC 223 with video footage showing him and his entourage attacking a bus containing fighters, including lightweight rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. McGregor can then be seen grabbing a railing and attempting unsuccessfully to throw it at the bus. Unperturbed, he located a wheeled trolley and launched that at the vehicle, smashing one of the rear windows. He and his entourage fled the scene and sped off in a waiting SUV.TWO. UFC fighters were pulled from upcoming bouts due to injuries they sustained in the fracas. Michael, who received several facial cuts, tweeted to say the New York State Athletic Commission had decided to pull him from his bout against Anthony Pettis. UFC later released a statement confirming Chiisa's injuries and also said flyweight Ray Borg would not be taking part in his fight against Brandon Moreno due to multiple cornea abrasions. A third fighter, Artem Lobov, a close friend and training partner of McGregor, was also removed from the card due to his involvement in the incident, UFC said. Reports suggested the confrontation had been sparked by an earlier run-in Lobov had with UFC lightweight title contender Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was on the targeted bus. The ugly scenes were condemned by UFC President Dana White, who labeled them one of the most disgusting things that's happened in the history of the company. McGregor has been a divisive presence in the sport due to his quick temper, flashy tastes and trash-talking of rivals, but quickly became one of UFC's most bankable stars after signing a contract in 2013. His rapid ascendancy saw him capture 2 belts before jumping sports to face undefeated boxer Floyd Mayweather in a money-spinning crossover bout in Las Vegas last August. He lost the fight and has not competed since. He was this week stripped of his UFC lightweight belt, which was due to be on the line in a bout between Nurmagomedov and Max Holloway at UFC 223, before the latter dropped out when doctors stopped him cutting further weight on Friday. The UFC said in a statement. NYPD was immediately alerted and is currently in the process of investigating the situation. UFC is working very closely with the New York Athletic Commission, Barclays Center Security and law enforcement authorities.